Why would a book, quoted directly by an author of the New Testament, be considered too controversial for the Bible? The answer lies in its terrifying and challenging visions. The ancient Book of Enoch describes fallen angels breeding with human women to create monstrous giants, forbidden cosmic secrets being revealed to humanity, and a coming judgment so intense it would remake the entire world. These weren't simple parables. They were raw, apocalyptic visions that have been the subject of intense debate for centuries. This isn't a story you were likely taught in Sunday school. The book is traditionally attributed to Enoch himself, Noah's great-grandfather, the man the Bible says walked with God and was taken from this world without dying. For a long time, it was thought to be lost, preserved only in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church's scriptures. While most traditions don't include it, its influence is undeniable. The Epistle of Jude quotes 1 Enoch 1:9 almost word for word, confirming that the earliest followers of Christ knew its powerful message. But the book itself claims these revelations were recorded for a distant generation. As strange signs appear in the skies and on the earth, could it be that its message was preserved for us? As we look toward 2026, a year already marked by incredible celestial alignments, 5 of these ancient predictions appear to be converging, pointing toward a massive global shift. Our countdown starts with a prophecy that goes all the way back to the dawn of human corruption. The Book of Enoch gives a terrifyingly detailed account of fallen angels known as the Watchers. Led by a figure named Semjaza, 200 of these beings came down to Mount Hermon, where they swore an oath to commit a great transgression. They took human wives, a union that defiled both heaven and earth, and produced a monstrous offspring, the Nephilim, or giants, who filled the world with violence and chaos. According to Enoch, these watchers also taught humanity forbidden knowledge, like making weapons and casting spells, unleashing a flood of evil that corrupted everyone. When the cries of humanity reached heaven, God pronounced a swift and severe judgment. The giants were made to wipe each other out, and their spirits were doomed to wander the earth. But for the watchers who started it all, a unique punishment was declared. In chapter 10 of 1 Enoch, the archangel Michael is commanded to bind Semjaza and his followers in the valleys of the earth until the day of their judgment, that is forever and ever, is consummated. For how long? The text says their binding is for 70 generations. For centuries, this number has been a mystery. But what if this prophetic timeline was a clock counting down? While any calculation is highly speculative, researchers have tried to figure out the length of a patriarchal generation. A generation of 70 years would mean a sentence of 4,900 years. If it's 100 years, that's 7,000. Different interpretations lead to different numbers, but some are connecting this timeline to our present era. The prophecy isn't just about history. It's about a sentence ending. And when the sentence is served, the text implies a final judgment for them in a great fire. Believers see the escalating chaos and spiritual darkness in our world as a sign that this binding is weakening and the influence of these ancient entities is seeping back into the world. They argue the countdown is nearing its end, and the events of 2026 could be a marker for this terrifying ancient sentence finally coming to a close. The world Enoch knew was heading for its first great judgment, the flood. Enoch was taken by God before the waters came, but his prophecies looked far beyond that single event. He foresaw 2 global cleansings. The first was by water, for the corruption of the Nephilim. The second, he warned, would be by fire. This theme of a final fiery judgment is one of the most powerful threads in Enoch's visions. He prophesied the Lord's return to execute this judgment. In the very passage Jude quoted in the New Testament, 1 Enoch 1:9 declares, "Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds." This isn't imagery of a cleansing flood, but of a decisive judgment carried out with holy fire. Enoch describes the fate of the wicked in terrifying detail. They will be cast into a fiery abyss, an eternal prison with no escape. This concept deeply influenced later biblical writers. The Apostle Peter, in his second letter, draws a direct parallel, writing that the world that then existed was flooded with water and perished, but the heavens and earth that now exist are reserved for fire on the day of judgment. Enoch's vision was the foundation. He was the one who first prophesied this future, fiery purification for a distant generation. So how does this connect to 2026? Prophetic signs are seen as warnings, divine alerts of a coming shift. For many, the celestial events of 2026 are exactly that. Not the judgment itself, but the final alarm. They argue that just as Noah was warned before the flood, this generation is being given signs in the heavens that the current age is drawing to a close, and the prophesied age of fire is on its way. The unique convergence of cosmic signs in this specific year is interpreted as heaven's megaphone, announcing that the final chapter, first written in Enoch's visions, is about to begin. With every great judgment comes a great separation. Enoch's prophecies aren't just about doom and gloom, they're also filled with incredible hope for the righteous. His visions describe a climactic moment when humanity will be divided for good, a dramatic and final split. Enoch writes extensively about the elect one, a messianic figure who will oversee this judgment. In the book of parables, Enoch sees this Son of Man given authority to sit on a throne of glory and separate the faithful from the unfaithful. For the wicked, especially the powerful kings and oppressors, the verdict is devastating. They are delivered into the hands of the righteous and cast into darkness, begging for a mercy that will not come. But for the righteous, it is a completely different story, a new beginning. Enoch prophesies a renewal of the earth. He says, the righteous will inherit the earth and be given light, joy, and peace. They will receive wisdom, and their sins will be forgotten. He writes, and the light of the Lord of spirits will be seen on the face of the holy, the righteous, and the elect. This is the great promise woven through all the warnings, a hope for a world made new, free from corruption. The theme directly parallels Jesus' own teachings, especially the parable of the sheep and the goats, where the Son of Man separates the nations. The connection to 2026 is seen by some in the growing perplexity of nations that Jesus mentioned as a sign of the end. As global systems become more unstable and societies polarize, many see this great division happening in real time. The celestial signs of 2026 are viewed as a catalyst, a moment that will accelerate this separation. For those who are watching, these signs are a confirmation that the age is turning and the time is near for the righteous to receive their inheritance. We're about to reveal the top 2 prophecies, including one tied to a spectacular celestial event visible across America. If this dive into the hidden truths of the Book of Enoch is opening your eyes, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss our future investigations. We want to know what you think. Do you believe these ancient texts were preserved for our generation? Let us know in the comments below. The ancients believed the heavens were a picture of divine order. The sun, moon, and stars moved in perfect, predictable cycles, a testament to God's flawless creation. But the Book of Enoch reveals this heavenly order isn't guaranteed to last forever. One of his most specific prophecies deals with the corruption of these cycles as a warning before judgment. In the astronomical book section, Enoch describes the intricate workings of the cosmos with a perfectly balanced calendar. But then, he delivers a chilling prophecy, warning of a time when this order will be disrupted. Enoch prophesies that in the last days, the moon will alter her order and not appear at her time. He also says the sun might rise improperly and that stars will transgress their boundaries. In chapter 80, he writes, and in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened, and the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And all the orders of the stars shall be closed to the sinners. This is a prophecy of cosmic chaos. For millennia, this might have seemed like fantasy, but now we are heading into a year filled with an unusual number of remarkable celestial events. On February 28, 2026, a rare planetary parade will see 6 planets, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, align in the sky shortly after sunset. Then, on August 12th, a total solar eclipse will sweep across parts of Greenland, Iceland, and northern Spain. The year also features 2 lunar eclipses, a partial one in August and a total one in March. To believers in prophecy, this is not a coincidence. It's a pattern. A planetary alignment, a total solar eclipse, and 2 lunar eclipses, all in one year, is seen as the beginning of the celestial disorder Enoch warned about. It's interpreted as heaven itself showing that the laws of nature are being shaken, just as Jesus predicted there would be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars before his return. This brings us to the number 1 prophecy, the celestial sign that stands above all others in 2026. We've arrived at the number 1 prophecy of Enoch for 2026. It's the most specific, the most visually stunning, and the one that ties everything else together, the prophecy of the moon turning to blood. As we've discussed, Enoch foretold a time of celestial disorder, specifically mentioning the moon would alter her order. This imagery is echoed by other biblical prophets. In the book of Joel, it is written, "The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord." This exact phrase is repeated by the Apostle Peter in the book of Acts and appears again in Revelation. A blood moon is a common term for a total lunar eclipse, when the earth casts its shadow on the moon, giving it a striking reddish color. While eclipses are natural, their timing can be seen as prophetically significant. On March 3rd, 2026, a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon, will be visible over North America, Australia, and East Asia. What's staggering to many is that this eclipse occurs just hours after the end of the Jewish festival of Purim, which concludes at nightfall on March 3rd. Purim is a major feast of deliverance, celebrating the salvation of the Jewish people from a genocidal plot in ancient Persia. Its name means lots, because the villain Haman cast lots to pick a day for their annihilation. The story is about a catastrophic decree being reversed at the last second, a festival of sudden reversal, of judgment for the wicked and deliverance for the righteous. Now consider the convergence, a total lunar eclipse, turning the moon the color of blood, a biblical sign of judgment, happens immediately after the festival celebrating deliverance from judgment. This occurs in a year already marked by other significant celestial signs. For those who study prophecy, this is seen as a divine appointment and the fulfillment of Enoch's warning. A blood moon right after Purim is interpreted as a final, unmistakable sign that the lots of judgment are being cast for the world, but also as a promise of deliverance for the faithful. From the countdown of the watcher's sentence to the prophecy of a fiery judgment, from the hope of a renewed earth to the signs of celestial disorder and the stunning climax of a blood moon right after the feast of Purim. For some, the prophecies recorded by Enoch, the 7th from Adam, seem to be converging on the year 2026 with a precision that's hard to ignore. For millennia, the Book of Enoch was a hidden text, its warnings and promises sealed away for a final generation that would need to understand the signs in the heavens and on the earth. Whether you see these events as literal prophecy or as a powerful convergence of ancient symbols and modern astronomy, one thing is clear. 2026 is shaping up to be a noteworthy year. The Book of Enoch leaves us with a choice, the same one presented throughout Scripture, a path of righteousness that leads to life, and a path of ungodliness that leads to destruction. The signs, many believe, are not there to cause fear, but to awaken us. to call us to look up, understand the times we live in, and choose our path before the final judgment arrives. The heavens, it seems, are speaking. The question is, are we listening? If you found this video thought-provoking, please share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into ancient mysteries and modern-day signs. Thanks for watching.